Hello out there in TV land, video land. Hello out there in radio land. Are we broadcasting here? Johnny.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, you got it. Give me another test one there.
Check, 1, 2.
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's good. Speak right into that microphone. It's so important to get your voice. Hello, everybody. My name is Paul Caleb here. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. The studios of 4680Q Radio. And I am here today with Mr. JRB, John Ringo Beam, and we are going to be talking budget, city council, city, all kinds of crap today. So this is a great show for you to be tuned into. I'm telling you that right now. You're gonna be astounded by what we have to say.
Gary says you owe him 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, Gary always says that.
Everybody owes Gary 10 minutes. Everybody go out there and give Gary 50 seconds till he gets to 10 minutes. It's a community service thing.
Well, see, the good thing is about this Gary, I'm going to address Gary directly here, is that when we start late, we have to finish late because we won't get everything in.
Well, he was concerned that something happened to you.
He was concerned. Well, that's good. Thank you very much. I appreciate your concern because, you never know, right? You never know. Usually I start at noon, but I'm going to tell you why, just so you know, I didn't start at noon. And that's because, being the bonehead I am, I forgot the microphones, which means that the video wouldn't have any sound. So I had to run home, get the microphones, come back, and then get the show going. So that's why I'm 10 minutes late.
It happens. It's going to be a good show.
It happens. Now, before we start our show, I'm going to welcome everybody to the show. If you see the video here, subscribe and that kind of thing. We're going to get the budget. We're going to get the council. You name it. We're going to talk about it here today. It's all Niagara Falls all show today. I'll tell you that right now. We're not going to wander too far from Niagara Falls. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe. And away we go with my sponsors. First, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and, of course, Hamel Machine Shop. Now, you go outside today, it's going to be about 30 degrees. Still not a bad day considering we're January, 10th now. But you know what? We're going to get snow. And when we get snow, your car is going to break down because that's when it breaks down on the bad days. So you take it to Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. You see Ken Hunter, and you get him to check your car over. Be proactive, not reactive. You don't want to be broke down on the side of the road. He's going to check all your systems, your heating system, your suspension, your brakes, everything. So you have a safe motoring winter. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, by the Kia dealership. Get down there today. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you, and your car is going to be very, very happy. Right, Johnny?
Right. Well, he's just around the corner for me.
Yeah, he's just around the corner from you.
I see him every morning going for coffee.
Yeah, Ken's he goes for coffee. He does go for coffee, that's for sure. Okay, and I got this here. I'm going to put, it's a roll of toilet paper because we might need it today.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of crap going on down at City Hall.
We're going to need the hip waders. Because the tall hip waders, too, because it's
just
really high. And it comes out there because you realize that the sewage plant's broken down, eh?
I saw the big overflow into the river.
And it's not the first time. Yet, council keeps approving new subdivisions and new homes, overloading a system that's already overloaded. And they're supposed to have their new sewage plant, which is nobody has any money for. And the government laughed at them when they gave them their ask.
It's ridiculous what they do, these guys. And the region runs the pollution plants, right? But they know they're decrepit. They're saying they're decrepit. They need like $4.5 billion to fix everything.
Yeah.
And
that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
That they've told us.
But, there's been an overflow and stuff went into the river or whatever it goes into. But it won't affect your drinking water. Don't worry about it. Okay. So, over to the city, we have a 7.6 increase in taxes. And yes, the mayor, with his strong mayor powers, is putting out this budget. So it's his budget. So don't blame anybody else. You can blame staff or anybody you want. But the mayor said, okay. And he's presenting this budget to council. And that's going to be in a week. Right?
Isn't there next Monday education session?
Well, there's an education session on the 20th, which is the Monday before the budget meeting.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's an education.
That's my thing. These are the council members been here this is their third budget.
Right.
Okay. Never before, I don't recall having an education session for budget, right? And it's in a closed door meeting, right? If it's an education session, why don't they do it in open council that the taxpayer can show up and maybe learn something about the budget instead of hiding it? And if you're hiding it, is this to let people know that how you want them to vote on certain issues?
Johnny. The education system isn't to tell them how to understand the budget. It's to have them understand this is my budget.
Yeah.
And I did this for this reason. And I don't want to have to veto you not going along with it. It's an education system as to how they're going to talk about it.
Sort of like the Russian.
Guaranteed.
Sort of like the Russian ones when you go to Siberia, or the Chinese ones.
Well, you heard Jim Diodati say dictators or democracies don't work.
Yeah.
He said that right in a meeting one time. But this is an education system for them to understand how this is going to go down.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions now that might embarrass me, ask them here, not out in public.
Yeah. I had always said, because I talk to Lori Lococo a lot. She does a good job.
Yes, she does.
And I told her, I says, people get the wrong impression of you because you don't ask questions in council, right? I says, staff is supposed to be ready for everything that comes out of your mouth, right? But if you ask them out of council, the taxpayers watching the meeting don't see you doing anything other than saying, well, this, blah, 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 blah. That's all they hear. Ask the question in council, right? And then the public knows that you're asking the right questions. But then you get deferred or whatever, right? You know, Captain Mike there, defender of the faith.
He's the deferral king.
Yeah.
Here's the deferral king. Oh, they're gonna make an amalgamated region, so there's no use talking about the ward system versus the large system now.
Yeah, he's the guy that deflects it.
Yeah.
So Bob York comes in and makes the goal.
Where do you think he gets his orders from to deflect stuff?
I don't know. I don't know. He says,
well,
there's too many kings there. Right?
Well, you just don't want to say, because we know it's from the mayor.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, when he stood up and gave that thing.
And when things get tough, right, then he defers to the penguin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he defers to the penguin, right?
And then the penguin goes up and gives his speech on how it is, or he'll defer to somebody else. And it's just like, okay, nobody answers the question, and she just gets shot down.
And it makes me laugh because important things that they should defer, like the $350,000 for a concrete ping pong table and other garbage, they didn't defer.
That's half a point off the tax increase.
That's a half a point, because every $700,000 is a point.
Yeah.
So Lori tried to say no, and she was blasted. But the bottom line is that even though she suggested it, well, here's the thing, John. Even if she suggested it, the bottom line is a bad idea is a bad idea.
But they took her suggestion
and screwed it up
and turned it in backwards.
Yeah.
And then made it a joke. It's like this current surveys online. Do you want a kick in the head or do you want a hug?
Yeah, you want a kick in the balls.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of balls. There's not a lot of. Well, are they asking council though? There's no balls in council.
Well, they got no balls now. They don't. But that's funny. Yeah. Do you want a punch in the mouth, or do you want a kick in the balls?
Yeah, or a hug.
Or a hug
for extra money.
They don't throw in the hug though, but yeah, the hug costs extra money.
Yeah,
you can have a hug. You know, it's going to cost you more tax on your tax rates.
A fee.
So, yeah,
not a tax.
They don't ask the right questions. If you ask somebody, would you rather have a road fixed or a concrete ping pong table? They're going to give you the right answer. The road. They're not going to pick a concrete ping pong table. Who the hell wants that?
Put the concrete in the road and then put a ping pong table
on the road.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! So
a ping pong net, that'll be a lot cheaper.
So he's looking for a 7.6% increase for 2025 after a 4% in 2022, a 7.9%. This is the best, John. 7.9% catch up.
Yep.
It was a catch up. We have to catch up.
But
but we never caught up, everybody. We never caught up.
But there's an assessment increase every year and new houses that come online, right?
Right.
So they're not including that in the extra income that they take. They have a spending problem. That's plain and simple. And I says, and it's simple. Like I said, like part of the thing here. Okay, so they got the budget. It was 77. Okay, here's what they labor and benefits come to 77,604. Okay, employee benefits allocation is $16,716,000. Do the what is this benefits thing? Like, do they pay this out? This $16 million? Does that go to the dentists or whatever? Right? They've never said anything. It's like, so if they have dental plans, like I pay $1,000 per employee for dental plans. How many employees are in the city? What's going on? We don't get any hard numbers. It's just a little
Entry.
that it's very vague on its detail. And I'm sure that I remember back years ago, I used to get copies of the budget book, and there was way more detail on what they were doing with everything and how it was going. Now it just seems it's just, but that's a valid question. If we're spending it on like dental plans and stuff, why can't the city hire dentists? They're a government agency, right? It's not private healthcare, it's government. So we hire 2 dentists. We say, okay, here, we're going to give you $300K a year, pay for your little assistants in your office and everything, and you're going to take care of all the dental things for the city, right? I don't know how many clients a dentist has, but they have over 1,000 or 2,000.
Yeah,
that's
probably
way more than the city. So then they can handle some people that are homeless or something that need care as well.
And
and it's all paid for. So for 2 dentists and the office and stuff, that's going to cost less than $1.5 million a year, maybe $2 million. And they get rebated back for stuff, right?
Yes.
And that's the same with doctors. Hire a couple doctors, 1,000 patients each, whatever. People don't have a doctor, put it in the clinic, right? All the city workers go see this doctor, right?
Self-insured.
Yeah. So then as they come in, they get rebated back from OHIP. So then it's just our cost for the doctors and the office and crap like that. Not $17 million or 16. Makes no sense.
Yeah, the whole thing is like, that's a lot of money for benefits.
Yeah, it is. And its averages across the board between 29 and 31%. I looked at the numbers for each department, and that's about the average. Say 30% benefits on top of the wages.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the wages are outrageous. But, at the end of the day, right, we're paying for it with our tax dollars. So pay me now or pay me later. If you can self-insure and pay it and it's cheaper and have a plan like that,
yeah.
At least, is it legal? Can you do that?
I can't see why not.
Why wouldn't it be? It's a doctor.
Nobody's ever thought about it because they all think outside the box, right? And I go to this. I always say this, and I had talk with my wife the other day. I says, when you were a kid, everything was possible. Nothing was impossible because nobody told you it was, right? You had a cardboard box from a fridge. You'd get in there with your buddies, and it would be a pirate ship. It would be this. And that's called an imagination, right? And nothing's impossible. Then you get these idiots that come along. Oh, they forget they were kids, right? And then they become dicks, right? Adults, dicks, right? And the world's a jaded place. Everything's better in the past. They forget that they were kids. I says, get back in the box where anything's possible, right? And if it's not, get help proving that it's not, right? Or, you know what? Float a balloon. I had ideas, right? Everybody shot them down. I says, why not see if we can make that balloon fly higher, right? Instead of criticizing and instead of trying, just say, no, you're stupid, right? I says, get back in the box, get your imagination going, think of new things to do. If it doesn't work, move on to the next idea.
Well, this comes back to the term limits.
Yeah.
Right. And I am a big guy in favor of term limits, so you don't get people sitting on city council for 50 years. You look at the average time that city council has been around right now. Peter Angelo's been there 30 years.
Yeah.
Right. Strange has been there 20 years at least. Right.
Yeah,
Larry
he's been there
2
since,
terms.
2000 something. 20 years.
Yeah,
maybe.
20 years.
20. Maybe. Maybe.
Thompson was there 50 years. Daddy's been there
2003.
2003. So that's 21 years.
Yeah.
And then we got a couple of new counselors. But how can the same people who create the problems fix the problems?
What's their reward for screwing up. You just select them again. Nobody cares. 27%. Like I said, they all bitch on Facebook, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. And I mean, they might get out and vote. But the point is you got to get other people out to vote. Drive them, convince them, talk to them. Do your part. That's it. And so, you know what? Get it up to 50%. If we elect another bunch of assholes, there's another election in 4 years. Eventually, we'll get it right, or we won't.
Exactly. And, that's what we do here. We try to educate people and make them aware, make them aware of what's going on with their tax dollars, and get them out to vote. Because the only way you're going to get rid of these guys is because it's a popularity contest.
I had guys telling me I only see things my way, and I said to them, I said, yeah, because I've been doing this for a while, involved in this crap, and everything I've seen work hasn't worked. All the ideas. I said, so maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but I see things my way. Like I look at things, to me, everything's black and white. There's no color. It's black. It's either 1 or 0. That's it. There's no maybe, if, what if, all the what ifs are the worst people. What if this happens? What if that happens? Well, we'll deal with it. We'll get a plan. If that happens, we'll deal with it when it happens. If it doesn't happen, we still have the plan.
Right. And that's what you need. You need some new way of thinking on city council. And I do this with the homeless. Yeah. They've been doing the same things for 20 years and it's not working. So we do need a new way to do it.
I got a homeless guy living at my place. I literally have, no, not me. Okay. Even though I meet the definition of homeless, right? But I do have another person living at my place that I let live there, right? Yeah. And they're homeless. But like I said, it's just, they go. Today there was an article about we need 75,000 houses for $11 billion. And that's never going to happen because you can't build houses for $140,000 or apartments or units.
No.
So, I mean, that's just another thing, some guy with an idea. Let's, shoot it down or make it work and find a new way of building. Maybe we could do that. Container housing.
Well, all over the world. That's what we could go to. Container housing is what they should be building.
Yep.
Because they're inexpensive to build and you can build lots and you can build them fast, like an assembly line.
Yep.
And that's
and
what we need in
you can put the people
Ontario.
that are using the container houses into training them to build the container houses or something, like to give them a skill or a job or a purpose. A purpose is good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you wake up every day and you got nothing to do. What are you going to do? Let's get high. Let's drink.
Right.
Let's go down to the park and play ping pong on that concrete ping pong table. Take some beer with us.
Let's fill our water bottle and get misted while
our
we're
water
there.
Bottle thingy.
And get misted while we're there.
Yeah, they have misting stations too, right?
Yeah, play Misty for me or me. I couldn't do this, but some people might want to.
It's like, okay, so the Penguin goes, they were talking about the Gale Center. This is shit that happened before. So they put the generator in the Gale Center because that's the emergency place. He says, well, it makes more sense. But then he said, we can't use the Gale Center, which would hold 20,000 people probably if you lined them all up or whatever, way more than the McBain Center. He says, oh, we have the ice. Did you ever ask them that they could take the ice out in a day or so? Right? They literally can they can reverse the refrigeration to heat up the ice and take the ice out of the Gale Center, right?
And you know what's crazy about that, John? Is that if we were in a state of emergency, say like California is right now with the fires, do you think they're going to be playing hockey? They canceled the professional games because of these fires.
Yeah.
So why do we need ice in the Gale Center if there's an emergency?
We're going to drain the swimming pool so people can hang out in the swimming pool, right? Or in the gym part up top or the offices. Yeah. It makes no sense.
Well, the Gale Center has a lot more room. I mean, you got 4 rinks in there, and you could put 2,000 cots
you can fit 4,000 people.
Yeah.
In
the stands.
What's this? 2,000 or 2,500?
2,500 at least.
Yeah, and then you got standing room, so another 500 people standing room, and then you got the ice surface. Then you got the main hallway, you got the meeting room.
You got 4 ice surfaces.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just, it makes no sense. So and then they're going to come back and say, well, we need a generator for the Gale Center. We're still paying $1 million a year interest costs.
On the Gale Center.
On the Gale Center.
Yeah.
We'll still be paying for it when they're saying we need a new Gale Center. The old one's broken. We have to build a bigger, brand new one, the Jim Diodati Center. He was a visionary.
So back to the tax increases. 4.9% after the catch-up one of 7.9.
Yeah.
And if this goes through this year, it's going to be like 25% increase over the last 4 years. And that doesn't include increases to your wastewater and water bill, your hydro bill.
Your water and your wastewater are going up 10% minimum every year for another ever, and then probably higher. And it's crazy because they can't do anything. And I says we're never going to see the new pollution plant unless somebody comes up with an idea and says, well, the city will pay for it. We could ask Elon Musk. I got his number on the phone.
What do they want? They want $450 million to build that. It's probably going to be more now. The region, you say the region's broke.
That was $2017.
Yeah, so it's probably
450. So you're looking at about 1.2 billion right now.
Okay, so they don't have any money in the region, right?
No, how are they going to build this? There was an article in the paper said they had their thing. Borrowing limit was left to 37 million. That's why this year you got such a high increase, and they're taking money out of reserves to keep the borrowing down, and they're paying out of reserves and stuff. And that's like, what was that? Todd Harrison used to be their budget guy for the city.
Ken Todd,
no, the other guy, the budget guy.
Oh, I don't know who that was. Todd.
He came out from Niagara Falls, the budget guy before the one we got now. He went to the region. He was the head guy for the budget. They shit-canned his ass.
It wasn't Ron Tripp.
No.
It wasn't Tripp, right?
No,
I don't know. Just that was the guy. Todd Harrison.
Todd Harrison.
So listen, if they don't build this new plant on wherever it is on Grassy Brook Road or whatever there, where are all the sewers from the hospital and all the new subdivisions not going to go? Because this one's done. It's already overflowing.
Okay, so they had Grand Niagara Development. They went in front of council a couple of weeks ago and made an application that they could build 585 houses because they could find the extra capacity in the sewers. But then we got all this other stuff coming online. Walmart, 250 houses, 49 ADUs. You got McLeod Road. All this stuff's approved. Yet, and you asked I can't remember, Eric. He doesn't really know too much either. The other guy in charge of stuff. Yeah, Eric Nichols.
Nichols. Yeah. That's him, yeah.
I asked him a few questions. He says, oh, that's the reason we really don't talk, right? And I asked him about Oakwood Drive and Montrose Road because I live on the Indianapolis Speedway there, right?
Yes.
And they approved this whole subdivision at Walmart. And I says, so 250 houses, 49 ADUs, that's 600 cars. Where are they going? They're coming out Oakwood Drive. And the city just bought a little triangular piece of land from the development that's going on Dorchester Road in the Dorchester Road by the, on the other side of the canal. The Riverside thing, where the Chinese development was going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they're there too. So Centennial Homes is building houses there.
Oh, okay.
They're building like 800 houses.
Yeah,
right?
Okay, yeah.
So they just bought a piece of land right by the Conrail drain. And the part by the bridge, it's a triangular. They called it a triangular piece of land. And the way the province rebuilt the bridge going over the Welland River, so they left more room. So I assume that when they're building a new bridge, they're going to build a new bridge from Oakwood, like from Dorchester
over the canal
to Oakwood Drive to Montrose Road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
What's going on is everybody's waiting on this sewage plant. What the region's doing, because they're moving the water intake from Chippewa to the upper Niagara River. Because for 2 years, the river's going backwards while they do all this stuff. When they drain the canal, they're supposed to be doing the McLeod Road Bridge and expanding that, and repairing whatever it needs to be done, because they might wind up knocking it down. I don't know, but that's in the plan. Because when I had asked about the sewage plant in the meeting, the guy says, you seem to know a lot. I said, I pay attention because when they ask for ice for concrete, then they tell me what the project's for. Can I handle the ice? So obviously I know what's going on when it's coming ahead of time, because they got to have their stuff. Anything government project around here needs ice to cool the concrete to maintain strength. So that's why I have a lot of knowledge of what's going on.
Yeah, inside stuff. The inside scoop.
But like I said, everybody's waiting for all this stuff. I says, and so anyways, back to Eric Nickel. He says, oh, I don't know. He says, I said, the traffic study was done in 2011, and you guys were wrong then. I says, now you've added a Costco and a bunch of other stuff at Niagara Square. You're adding 250 houses here. I says, right within a mile of my house, if I was dead center, they're adding about 35, anywhere from 2,500 to 3,500 units of housing. That's 7,000 cars. Because everybody has 2 cars. You don't have one car, and okay, so maybe 10 people don't drive. But everything's built for driving. And then it's, like I said, and McLeod Road and Montrose Road is going to 4 lanes all the way from McLeod Road back to the hospital site. So they've already got half of it built. But he says, oh, yeah, we don't, I don't know, it's a regional thing. I says, it's a city road connecting to a regional road. So you're half responsible for this crap, right? And it's like, oh, I don't know. We don't talk a lot. I says, maybe you should.
Yeah,
right? And that's staff. So how does staff recommending stuff don't know about shit and then ask for more money? Right? Like, you know, we need this money to do this. And then what his answer was is like, once the traffic gets bad enough, then we'll deal with it then. Well, no, deal with it beforehand so that we're paying $100 for something they need to get fixed, not $10,000 to do something.
But that's typical of the city.
Sponsor time.
That's what they do.
Sponsor time.
Well, it is sponsor time, yeah. But that's still, that is typical of the city. They react instead of proacting. They have no vision.
No, they don't.
They don't have any vision. Like, they put all that crap on McLeod Road. They okayed 10 new apartment builds along there.
You see the new ones? They look nice. They went up quick.
Well, those are, I always talk about them.
That's all modular.
Sharon Street,
that's like already modular. So everything comes in pieces. That went up so quick. And if you drive by and look inside, they look fantastic.
Yeah, and that's the only one I think they've okayed that actually put shovels in the ground and built it.
Well, they're starting on the Walmart one now. They got
really?
6 units or 4 units going up. That's the display units, and then they're going to go gangbusters next year.
Good. So what do you think? 7.6%. Will that fly this year? Will that go through, or is council going to actually get up and say something? Before you give your answer, let's get to the sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Now, if you guys want a good pizza, believe me, and Gary Wilkins will tell you, he can be a testimonial for it. They know how to make a pizza. Mike worked in an Italian restaurant for 15 years. He uses the Mancini family recipe, which has been around for 40 years, for the crust and for the sauce. Mm-hmm. And he knows how to mix the ratios of the beautiful Saputo and brick cheese he mixes together to put on the pizza. And he does it in the right ratios with the sauce, so you get a really nice taste out of it. And he cooks it whichever way you want. And he has all fresh ingredients. Has wings with it, has combo specials, steak specials. He has steak and cheese poutine. He has a menu this big, this tall. You unfold it. It's like a book. Lots of good stuff on his menu. He's open till 2 in the morning on Friday and Saturdays. He's open till 11 during the week. So you get those late night munchies, that's where you go. There's not a lot of places open that late in Niagara Falls. So Pete's Pizza, Victoria Avenue, that's where you want to go. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. And how do you get a hold of them? 905-374-2222 or Pete'sPizzaVictoria.ca. And you'll get in touch with them. They have Skip and all the other stuff if you want to use it. If you get there, tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you, and enjoy a pizza. Pizza's my favorite food. I eat pizza, try to eat it every day.
Yeah, I'll be ordering today from there.
Yeah, like Pizza the Hut.
Yeah, my wife said she stopped cooking for me. She wants a counter fix. So.
Hey, when you have a good pizzas, you don't need it. Who cares? Yeah. I'd rather have that's what I'm having tonight. I'm going to have a pizza, probably.
I want a steak sub.
I had one of those the other night.
From Pete's?
I had one from Pete's that I wouldn't. It wasn't bad.
Yeah,
it wasn't bad. Pizza's pretty good for steak subs, but I made my own.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to the meat shop and got some really nice. I shouldn't be doing ads for the meat shop, but I went there and got some good steak and cooked it up.
No, sometimes it is. Sometimes it's really good making your own. So I do that as well. Yeah. Oh, you see the pictures I post. My wife does a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, Don's Country Kitchen.
Yep.
So go to Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Believe me, you won't be disappointed. And I'm a pizza snob, and I like it. So 7.6% is the mayor's proposal.
No GST. You got no GST on
no GST, no HST.
Yeah, so go.
$25 is $25.
Yep.
For once in our lives. 7.6%. That's the mayor's proposal. Is it going to fly, John? Or is council going to get up, actually have some balls, and challenge this and see if they can get it to zero for us? Because I'm going to tell you why I think they should be at zero. Go ahead. What do you think?
No, it's not going to be 7.6. I mean, it's hard to say if any, because looking at the capital budget, I mean, one person got up and spoke.
That was it.
That was it. And she was bang on, right? It's like she's looking after our money. Trying to, anyways, but she's put down. And I said, you know what? They're gonna say, oh, staff has done a wonderful job. And I'm so proud of staff. They worked really hard at this. This is a good budget. And when I go running next time, oh, I didn't mean to say who's anybody's name or anything like that.
No.
And then was it Triple F? She's going to get up and say staff has done a wonderful job.
Triple F, yeah.
And then
yes.
Ruth Ann will get up and she'll say some compliment. And I'm sure Chris Dabrowski will say something. Probably a good job, or he might ask a question because he's freshly back and he wants got to get those bonus points in for the next election, right?
I was going to say, are we having pizza and wings in the in-camera tonight?
I don't know, but they should have beer and wings, chicken wings and beer.
So you know what? Here's why I say it should be zero. Now they've pulled this trick for the last 4 years, and that is saying when you get to the revenue side of the ledger on the budget, that the revenue from the casino will be $14 million. Now this year it's going to end up being about $24 million, and last year they estimated $14 million.
And they did that this year too.
Yeah. There's $10 million they're not accounting for. And they're going to be about 6.877 million short on the revenue side when they compare it to expenses. So by severely underestimating, like half, but severely underestimating the revenue coming in from the casino, they're going to tell you they need more money and they have to raise the taxes. Meanwhile, if they even just were realistic about the casino income, they would have a balanced budget. Revenue would equal expenses.
What's in reserves? We never hear that.
No, well, there's tons. I mean, I figure there's $80 to $100 million.
Way more than that.
So not in reserves. I'm just talking about floating around.
Oh yeah. Well, that's holdco money.
Yeah, we got 40 to 50 million from the Niagara Regional Broadband.
They had the 700,000 for the innovation center.
I'm going to talk about that.
And that was supposed to be with a matching federal grant. That's the only reason we paid it, right? Because the federal government always comes up with, we'll give you $500,000 if you throw in $500,000, right? And it's like, we weren't going to spend that $500,000, but we can't give away that. We can't give up that $500,000 free money that they're going to give us. So we'll build the exchange.
No, see, the thing is with this casino,
the exchange, $1 million more than it's taking in to keep it going every year. It doesn't generate nothing like.
Now, what are you talking about? The innovation hub or the exchange?
Both. We're getting hit everywhere. I just changed. I got ADHD.
No, but I just want to stick to this $10 million from the casino. This $14 million that they put in the books, which is wrong. They should be accounting for at least what we got the year before, minus say 20 or 30%, because just in case money, right? And they're not. And this is, I think, the third or fourth year they've done this. They've underestimated it and raised our taxes because they don't have enough money to cover expenses. And it's not right. I think there's something fishy down there.
Remember when we did the first budget after pandemic, and then they cut expenses? They dropped the expenses.
128 million.
They dropped 18 million. They missed. They didn't get right. Yeah, and they had no problem. They didn't even have a big raise.
They went to $128 million budget from 140 something. Yeah. So now they're back up to 100. I think the 167,000 million, I should say, 167 million, and they don't estimate the casino right. It went from 158 million to 167.
165,570 with a shortfall of 6.877 million.
So if they dumped a realistic number from the casino on that, in other words, not 14 million, 20 million, we'd have a balanced budget.
Oh. See, now they're putting $10 million into reserve funds. on this budget, right? Right here. To special purpose reserves, 1,131,000. To reserve funds, 10,360,000. So that's $11.5 million, right?
That's the 10 million from the casino.
Okay, and then hold on. Here's another one. $9 million to special purpose reserves, 9.5 million. And then what the hell is internal rent?
That's the rent they charge themselves.
Yeah, so like, is this like a shell game, or hey, look, I got $20. Oh no, look, I folded it in half. I got 40.
Well, I think that is okay, and I'll tell you what. Because say, for example, one of their departments is sitting in the Wayne Thompson Center,
Yeah,
and they look at the Wayne Thompson Center, and they're charging Niagara Regional Broadband $70,000 a year.
Yeah,
even though they own Niagara Regional Broadband. Well, when you look at the Wayne Thompson Center, and you do the books on that, they got to account for rent, even though they're not getting it in reality. It's one pocket paying the other pocket, right?
Yeah.
We're going to take 70,000 here, and we're going to put it in here, right? It's like you say, it's just shifting money around, but they got to account for it, and they did that with infrastructure as well. So when they're doing a road, they include the engineering and all the other charges, even though they're internal people doing the work, so that we get a realistic view of what it costs to repave, put new sewers in, and remediate a road, from top to bottom. And before, they used to break it out as engineering and all that. Now they put it with that project, rather than keep it like, well, we pay engineers $100,000 a year.
I don't know. I'd like more detail on the 31 million.
Well, yeah, and that's the problem with us.
It's the vague. It's just like, hey, this is what it is. There's no digging down. I remember Carolyn Ione one time. She was there, and she said that we don't have time to go through the whole budget. But also, Carolyn also said that when they get information on stuff, they don't get all the information. And I said, this is when I was running for mayor. I said, if I had to, I'd spend a week going through it. I don't care. Go dig down, because it's dollars. That's what we get paid for, right? You wanted to join the club, do the job.
Well,
you don't have to do it all in one night. You can have several meetings, right?
This is the whole thing with us, though. We don't get to drill down on all these expenses. It's an item, and then that's it. And we don't get to drill down to see exactly what it is. And turning our focus on the innovation hub, like they just put a bill in for $700,000 and says innovation of $700,000.
Yeah,
I want to see their books.
We don't have our books because we keep changing our name. That was the Penguin got up and said that. It's like, oh, we still got books, but they're not ready because we can't show you the books. You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, exactly. Because there's $700,000 we give. That's 1% on our taxes, and you know what? We don't have any books. And if they give me any baloney about 2024, okay, let's see 2023 or 2022. Let's see where you're spending our money. And they don't have the books. I don't know where they are. Nobody will present them. They just come to city council like this with their handout saying, we want $700,000 again. I don't even know who these guys are. What do they do? Who are they?
Freaking 28 concrete ping pong tables.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people missing out on concrete ping pong tables because we're giving somebody to innovate something.
They don't do. Listen, they're at city council bragging how great they were, and all these people from coming in.
More than 5 minutes too.
So yeah, yeah. As long as it's a buddy of theirs. But I think there's a lot of make work programs, and right beside that, there's something called the Small Business Enterprise Center, who's also hooking us for $125,000.
Yeah.
Why do we have that when we have the Innovation Hub that is supposed to be doing small business enterprise?
Maybe Serge is in charge of that one. Isn't he the business guy?
I don't know, but you know what? I think the labor was that labor and benefits were like half of the. They get $280,000 grant from the provincial government, $125,000 we kick in. So what's that? $430,000, and half of the $430,000 is wages, salaries,
and
benefits. Over half. So what is this? Well, doesn't anybody ask these questions of counselors?
No, they don't. They're there because where are we going for photos today at lunch? Photos and free meals
And who's
All right.
opening a new restaurant? We got to get there. Come on, Mona, let's go. But these are the questions that I expect them to ask. I want to hear where this money is, and especially from the Innovation Hub, because I told you my story about it.
Yeah.
I called and none of them got back to me at all, ever. And I wanted to work with them to do something like a video like this in their studios. And that I never got a call, never got an email, called twice, waited 2 months. I said, screw them. Now I'm going to find out where their money's going, because it seems to me like a make work program for friends of the city council.
You wouldn't have asked questions if they would have helped you.
No,
right?
I wouldn't.
And then it would have been, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. Everybody'd be happy. Paul would be like a YouTube star somewhere down, 12 million subscribers.
Yeah, well, they would definitely have talked to me, and I'd say, what a great place.
Yeah.
And now I see what they're doing, because once you walk in there, but for them to come to council with their hands out and just tell us these wonderful stories, well, to me now, here's what I'm thinking. They seem to be doing fine. They don't need our $700,000.
Yeah, well, they said they're doing great.
Yeah.
And a lot of their business are not everything's here, because Lori had asked one time. And then I had checked, and some of the businesses are down in the States, trucking businesses and all this. And, it's like, hey, aren't we supposed to be supporting local here? Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls money here. Like, hey, if you're opening up a trucking place, let's see the big trucking yard down there.
And that was Lori's point.
Yeah.
And they just poo-pooed it. No, that's all right. Here's $700,000. And it's just in the books, and they're going to okay it. And I don't think they're not going to ask to look at the books and that. But I'm not going to stop.
L'Oreal asked.
I've had other people who said they want to file an FOI.
Like Jody seemed to know a lot of stuff that we could do, right? I mean, he studies all this stuff, right?
Yeah, Jody Burdett's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, we got his tower over there. They're going to want to get rid of that, because you can't look at that from the new building where the fires are happening.
Why?
Right?
Did you read the city council agenda yet?
No, not I. Part of it.
Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it when you're here, right? So now I want to move on, because we've yelled about the Innovation Hub.
Yeah.
Right now I'm going to move on to the fire department, and we're going to do that right after I talk about my third sponsor.
Correct.
And this is something that is sacrosanct in this city. Nobody will say anything bad about them and all that, but we're going to talk about them. And I don't know if John is going to say anything about them, but I certainly am. My third sponsor, Hamel Machine Shop. Now, listen, if you've got anything metal you need fixed, if you've broken apart and you can't find a new one, don't worry about it. Go to Hamel Machine Shop, and they've got places on Kent Street over here on Bridge Street, Hauser's Welding, and they own that as well. And you can get it fixed. If they can't fix it for some reason, they can re-engineer it. That's right. They will make a new part for you. They will machine a new part. They do everything there. They got laser cutters so they can cut those fancy signs with your address on them, you see. They've got 3D printers, so if you've got some kind of a plastic or nylon part you need made, they can make it for you. Hamel Machine Shop does it all. If you sat there scratching your head wondering, how am I going to fix this? Where am I going to take my lawnmower because I blew the deck out with a rock? Hamel Machine Shop is where you take it. You want to get gates for your backyard. They'll design and they'll make gates for you. Metal gates, they'll get them powder coated, guaranteed. And they'll also maybe even help you install them, Johnny, if you're really nice to them.
Oh, God, I need gates so bad. I got so many people driving my yard.
How about Wayne Gates?
Yeah, no, he's too short.
He's
Frito Bandito.
But he won't keep anybody out.
No, he'll invite them in.
Yeah.
Hey, come and see Johnny's place.
I keep saying that. Put Gates on the highway. No, not Wayne Gates. Gates. Yeah. Let these riffraff from Toronto down. But Hamel Machine Shop is the guy who can make those gates, and we decided to do that. Everything you need done, go to see Hamel Machine Shop. Don't scratch your head. Don't wonder where you're going to get it fixed. Now you know. And these machine shops are great for the industries around here. They turn to them for a lot of their fabricating and their machining. So they're important to the city. Support Hamel Machine Shop, hamelmachine.ca. Give them a look at their website. See the beautiful stuff they've done for wineries and that. They're a fantastic place. Bob Benson runs it. I think his name is Benson. Bob Benson. Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I always.
I remember way back in the day where they had the shop, the Hamel, where they were,
and
that used to be 9 to 9, the little store.
Oh yeah,
way back in the day. Yeah, way back in the day. That's where I bought my first album.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. There you go. That was Hamilton.
No, there was they had
the machine shop.
Well, they had. I don't know if they had the machine shop there at that time, but I remember after. But they used to have a little store in there.
Oh,
And they
okay.
used to sell
Okay.
used stuff or whatever. Like
Oh,
yeah, it was called 9 to 9 or whatever.
yeah,
Way back in
yeah.
the day.
You know, they've been around since 1948, so a lot of people knew the Hamels that owned it
Yeah.
originally. But it's Bob now that owns. A great guy. His family's so nice. Support them. They're local. Support local business like they support our show. Hamel Machine Shop is where you want to go. So, Johnny, our biggest expenditure. Now we're going to get into some serious business here. Fire department. Last year, the CAO, Jason the Penguin Burgess,
Yep.
tried to
He
get rid
looks
of
more like Herb Tarlick, though. Because Herb Tarlick was a salesman, right? And wore those goofy suits,
Yeah.
right? And I know you got the Burgess thing from Meredith Burgess,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And he
the
wore
young
funny
Batman.
suits too, right? But Herb Tarlick.
Yeah, well, he's got that. I call him the Pink Penguin because
he's got
that pink
shirts.
jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah, his fashion plate.
Yeah.
I mean, this is fashion. You know, we laugh, but it's fashion.
DEI.
Yeah. Now he tried to get rid of the $850,000 a year dispatch center, move it to St. Catharines, and save the city $250,000 or more. Fire department takes up close to 30% of the cost of labor to the city, $25 million of $77 million cost of labor and benefits. If there's money to be saved, it's probably in this department. And I know they tried to move the dispatch. All these firefighters were in the crowd, and city council wouldn't say yes. And I know the Jason Burgess, the Penguin, he was mad because he was told to save $1 million this year. And I didn't see that entry on the revenue, expense and this side. But he was told to save $1 million, so he's trying his best to save $1 million. He gave them an out for the concrete ping pong table fiasco, and they never took it. He had 250 plus being saved here, they never took it. Plus capital money as well, because they had to buy new systems to be able to work within the system the province requires them to, and that was going to be $750,000 or something. So, what I need to know, and I can't find anywhere, is the total number of calls the fire department made in 2023. We'll go to 2023, and how many of them were actually fires? That's what I want to know, because
they have to go to everything, car accidents, everything.
They do, but how many fires did they fight? And I'm going to tell you, in 2018, there was 2,500 total calls. Oh, no. Okay, I got the real numbers here. 2019, 5,198 fire calls, or 5,198 calls they went on. 75 were fire calls.
Okay, that's downtown here?
Yeah, it's all the firebugs.
Yeah. 2020
total calls 2,989. They were down because of COVID. Nobody was out setting fires, and 94 of them were fire calls, or 3.1%. In 2019, 1.4% of all calls were fire calls. 2021 total calls 4,136. Fire calls 78, or 1.9% of all calls.
Yep.
So 98.5% of the calls are not for fires. So what are they for?
Showing up.
Well, no. A lot of them are for EMS.
Yeah.
When you dial 911, if they can't get somebody from EMS to respond right away, they send the fire department. But what that tells me, if 98.5% of the calls are for EMS, heart attacks or whatever, then we should have more EMS and less firefighters.
That's true.
So we want specialty firefighters because we have to have people that can go down the gorge and rescue people. We have to have people that can go to car accidents with the jaws of life and pull people out. So we do need that. But I'm looking at these numbers going, EMS, they make $60,000 a year. Our firefighters make $120,000 a year plus.
Yeah.
There's tons of savings to be had there.
Well, one gets fire department gets when another Toronto fire department gets a raise and stuff, they do the matching and recognition pay and everything. So there's no negotiation. That's it. That's what we get. And
Right.
I've had fire department in front of my house last year at least 20 times. At least
For what?
accidents.
Accidents.
Car accidents, Oakwood and Montrose.
Yeah,
But it's a safe corner.
So the thing is, though, John, is I'm not saying that they should cut it. They should cut anything or change anything. But what I am saying is that somebody should get in there and figure out exactly what we need in our most expensive department and say, do they need more or do they need less? Do we need more firefighters? Do we need less firefighters? They got to get rid of the 24-hour shifts. If you looked at the capital budget, they're spending, 100,000 or whatever on a new kitchen.
Yeah.
And they're there 24 hours a day. That's why they have to eat their meals there and everything else. Change to a 12-hour shift and they wouldn't need a kitchen.
Yeah.
They need a little thing where they can sit down and have lunch.
Well, maybe the fire department, all the fire departments should go to the region. Let the region handle it.
Well, that could be another thing that's going to happen. But
Yeah.
here's what my thing is: they work 9 days a month,
Yeah.
90 days a year,
Yep.
and they get paid $120,000 a year because they're there 24 hours a day. And what are they doing for 24 hours a day there? There's not fires every 5 minutes in this city.
Yeah, they get paid for being on standby.
And I'm not taking anything away from them because personally, I wouldn't want to go into a burning building down on Zimmerman Avenue or whatever and have to deal with that. I don't want to. I don't want to do that. Somebody else can do that. But what I'm saying is that it's time, and I know Jason Burgess would agree with this because I've seen him there dealing with this or trying to deal with it. It's time to review this department and see what the hell we actually need. There's still a lot of volunteer firefighters.
Oh yeah,
around.
and they're not getting 120 grand a year.
No,
and that's the thing. Like I look at that, and when I see guys volunteering, right, and then the guys making 100 grand a year. I mean, they're doing the same job, right? Why is one? And it says the city is using the backs of the volunteers to save money. Right, where they should be getting something at least. I don't know if they do or what, but it's you're doing the same job.
But why can't we have half the fire department full time, and the other half volunteer?
It's true.
And listen, I'm not anti-fire department or anything else. And people are going to be out there saying, yeah, you say that until your house starts on fire. Yeah, you're right. My house starts on fire. I want them there. Fires. Yeah, you've had lots of fires.
3.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that there may be a better way to do it. We are in times that people don't have money. We got slapped by the utility companies, the gas, the water, the hydro. We got slapped by 30% increase in food prices or more, gas prices, taxes on our property. We can't afford stuff anymore. And that's why they got to get out of this spending habit that this city council's in. And seriously, they got to tighten their belt. We shouldn't have to tighten our belt every year because they can't. We need a balanced budget. And that leads me to the next question, John.
Alrighty.
Do you think there should be a bylaw where city council has to deliver a balanced budget every year? They have to live within their means.
Yeah, 100%. But they don't care because you know what? When other people in town, like the older people are in their house, they're trying to stay in their house, they're getting whacked every side, left, right, top, bottom. They turn around, they're getting hit in the head. When they're forced to sell their house or get out of their house, there's somebody that doesn't give a crap what the property taxes are. They're going to take that house, they're going to buy that house, they're going to turn it into 2 apartments. They're going to rent them out for $2,200 a month or whatever for top and bottom apartment. And there's a lineup of these people waiting to go. And there's no limit on the money that these people can get and they're paying a lower interest rate.
Yeah, and
other than the banks, it's all private money offshore coming in. And that's the whole thing is that they're there.
Yeah.
And my buddy says, like one of the guys I'm friends with, I bought some stuff off and they're doing a construction thing on McLeod Road and they got sold out right away. He says these houses are called, it's not even finished yet. They're still doing yard stuff, right? But they're all full. Cops are there all the time for parking because people park. There's 9 cars on the road. And his joke was they called them 7 or 11 apartments units, right? Because he says you don't know if there's 7 people living in it or 11 people living in it. Right. And these people are paying $600 a month to live there, right? Each or more. right? So you have 10 people, you're making $6,000 a month on an $700,000 building. You're paying that off in 10, 15 years because you're not paying very much interest. The whole point is that you're doing it, right? And I said, the city, they're looking for money. They're leaving so much money on the table. Like people own houses, right, to live in. And then there's other people that buy houses to rent out. Charge a fee for all the rental units in the city, not just Airbnbs. You're leaving tens of millions of dollars on the table because you're idiots. Basically, you're idiots. And I says, how? And it shows when you vote, and then the tax increases. I says, for somebody that has a rental apartment, they're making a profit. Tax them for it, right? Because half the time they're not declaring the money that they're making. Then charge a yearly inspection fee. You have to get your place inspected every year. We're going to check your fire alarms. We're going to check this. Charge them $250, $500, whatever. It doesn't matter because they're making a profit. Don't go overboard, but charge them. And I said, so that way everybody's on board. Everybody's paying their fair share. Oh, look, we brought in $20 million just from rental units this year. We got a tax rebate check for you guys, or we lowered the tax bill. We can lower the tax bill, 5%, 6%. You're paying less property tax. So the people that got to live in their house or want to live in their house just to keep a roof over their head and shelter don't have a problem keeping their house. Yeah, makes sense. I said you have to do. It's black and white. But this council, we can't offend these guys. Oh God, you know how? Oh, don't want to get in the bad side of these guys. Oh my God. Oh, Mike, quick, defer it.
Yeah, Mike, where's that paper I gave you to defer it?
Yeah,
let's stand up.
Somebody bring this up in council. Why? Like you're leaving all this money. You're talking about taxing this other crap, right? And looking for money. You're lifting rocks, stones in the middle of the street, looking to see if there's a few cents here. You're leaving tens of millions of dollars on the table.
Yeah, that's true.
It is. True. It's like literally. And that was one. Way back in 2005 or 2006, I did that with the water. They wanted to put the business water, blend it all onto the residents, right? So to help the businesses out. Chamber of Commerce was there. Everybody was in favor of it. I got up and stood up and I says, no, I bought my house to live in. I didn't buy it to subsidize a business, right? So why are you doing it? So then they shot it down. And that was tens of millions of dollars. I didn't win the election, but I saved that money for its residents, right?
There you go.
And that, to me, that was a win. That was better than wearing the bling and the photo ops, right?
If you get to be mayor, never wear that thing, will you?
Oh no, I
promise me you'll never wear that.
I get a whole fleet of TV cameras to follow me around.
Oh my Truman goodness. Show. But yeah, and I don't know where we were talking about before that because we got.
We even Holdco, right? There's like.
That's another thing I don't get.
It's separate from the city, so it's not subject to borrowing limits, as far as I can understand. Right? I'm not an expert, but
that's the hydro.
That's the hydro. Nobody brings that up, so it's like a giant ATM piggy bank. We'll put it in, we'll take it out, we'll put it in, we'll drift it here, we'll put it there. We don't have to discuss it in council because it's private, right? Bring that meeting back. Bring that shareholder, like the council's all the board members of that. Bring that in. That's our money. Why not? Oh, we got to hide that because that's our slush fund.
Yeah, for whatever.
For Ryerson Innovation Center, whatever the hell they're doing, right? The university, everything. Like I said, they were $70-something million in debt. That's the hydro. How did they get that far in debt?
I don't know. They make money every
and they
year.
just voted it on the consent agenda or whatever last year. And I remember I said that to you. I said, yeah, they're like this much in debt. Nobody said one peep, nothing. They okay, carried, passed, okay. And I said, I know they went to the meeting, but we're the public. We own this. Like we own the city. It's ours.
I think that people don't know that.
They don't.
They work for us.
No, we work for them.
Well, them, but that's not the way it should be.
No. I said, staff right now.
Here.
Council's rowing the boat. Staff is running the council. And there's 2 captains. Or 3. Who knows who's pulling the strings up top from that.
It's crazy. But human resources went up 4.76 million last year.
Yeah.
An increase of almost $1 million from last year. It went up to 4.76. So What's that all about, Johnny?
This is people taking their retirement. And then, so now back in the day when you started at a lower wage. Now we've got to attract, just like the doctors, we've raised our doctor thing, right? So it's a bidding war for people that don't know what they're doing. But we have to fill that position, right? So we'll hire you, you're out of school. And if you look at all the transfers for all the senior staff, right? Usually they've worked for another municipality in the area, like Jason, and everybody's got their little thing. So, hey, we're going to steal the St. Catherine's planner, and we're going to bring her over here, but we're going to offer another 25,000 plus benefits and crap, right? And then that's it.
Yes.
Oh, they've announced that they're leaving. Our senior planner, congratulations on your new endeavor.
Yeah.
And it's been really nice to have you here over the years. You've really contributed to everything, and we're sad to see you go.
The recycle according to their
And
ineptness.
Jason's from where? Haldeman?
Yeah, he was from Haldeman. He was up there for
but they're all part of that same clique.
Was he at the region too for a while?
The cabal. They're all interconnected, all these people.
They're like rock stars. They make the tour of every
the general
municipality.
public doesn't look at that shit.
No, they don't care.
They don't care.
They just said they're pleased to announce.
Yeah.
And that's it. But I heard they've hired like at least 33
they
or 34 more people.
The whole whack coming this time because they need them. And they're only dropping like about 5 positions.
Oh, well, now maybe that's why they need $27,600 of stand-up desks.
Yeah.
Computer desks.
I like sitting down. I'm not standing up. I sit down all day.
Their butts get sore from sitting there. Meanwhile, they're up for coffee every 5 minutes. They're talking to everybody. That's so. I want to know why they need $26,700 of stand-up desks.
When I worked for Cataract, I went into Wayne Thompson's office. Right, I had to deliver bottled water, and then I asked him right there. I says, "Why the hell are you drinking bottled water? Right? Why am I delivering bottled water right to Wayne? Honest to God, it's just there. Blah 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 blah." And he just looked at me like, what? And this is before I ran for anything. And I said, I drove from Cataract Ice over there. He called Bob Mahar, the owner of Cataract Ice. Who the hell did you send me? Yeah. He says, this guy comes in and starts bitching me out about bottled water. I says, yeah, why are we paying for you to have bottled water when I got to drink out of the tap? Right? I know it's not. I mean, I work for the company that sells it, but that's still not right. They have taps, right?
Yeah.
The water fountains. Put a fountain with the bottle,
right?
Water bottle thing, or whatever it is. But it's crazy. Like I said, these guys they're all entitled. Literally, they're all entitled.
Yeah, and they ask you to type.
And then the guys. So then there's the guys. I used to say, okay, you farmed out the garbage. You farmed out like St. Catherine's when I ran for mayor. They wanted to get rid of all the groundskeepers, like the lawnmower guys. And I said, you know what? They're taxpayers. So you just hand their jobs, right? And you're going to private. And I said, private companies work for profit. Later on, you're going to be paying double what you're paying now. And you're going to get a worse job than what you got, right? Because you don't do it.
No, we found that out with a lot of services.
Oh yeah, and I said that's the whole thing. I said you're at their mercy when you don't have the skills. So all these guys that when they're new hires, all the old guys are retiring. They're taking their cash out, right? It's the same as all these people selling their restaurants, right? And you wonder why there's so many Indian restaurants, because all these Indian people have money to buy the restaurants. They don't care. They're buying the restaurant. The old guys that had the restaurants, they check out. They got 4 or 5 times what the business is worth, maybe.
Yep.
Right? And they're cashing out, I'm going down to wherever. Where's Kevin at?
Mexico.
Yeah, they're going down to see Kevin Mancuso in Mexico. Stay with him and eat tacos and drink tequila, right? But that's the smart thing to do. Anybody selling a business today, right, to somebody from out of town, this is the time to do it because, like, we're going down.
Yeah.
And business, it's like Bezos, right? Guy bought Bezos. It's at its peak. That's because the person owned their building. They've been at this deal for years and set up all the delivery contacts and everybody, we're here, we're here all the time, right? Tom used to sit there all the time and his brother.
Yeah.
And they do everything and everything was great. Food was good, big portions. Guy comes in, he buys the business, probably overpaid for it. And then we hit the pandemic and then people are talking about how the food prices, and the food's gone to crap and the portions are small and it's more expensive. Well, yeah. Everything's gone up 50% or more for restaurants. That's one of the hardest business to make a profit in. It's very small.
Small margins.
I got 25 years in restaurants doing stuff like that. And I go, yeah, I'll never work in a restaurant. I got the skill, but I'll never work in one again. That's why I'm the Iceman. I get 6 months off a year.
So what's up with the Empire Building, Cataract Ice, and this is what I want to talk about, the planning. I was looking at the planning real quick on the agenda for next week. For Monday, we'll be doing the agenda on the show with Dave Wheeler. And they've got a 20-story apartment building going across the street in the Meteor Crater.
Yep.
They got another 20-story going where the old King Eddie used to be.
If you look back in Jim Diodati's photos and a few other photos when they were at the Hatch Building and they were doing the grand opening of the university. So you look at the table, there's a picture of the table, like an artist rendering or whatever the hell it was, right? But if you look, you can see City Hall, you can see the Hatch Building, but then you can see the big building where the bus terminal was, like the bus station and the old bus transit building and the Cataract Ice thing. And that's where the university is going.
Okay,
that's going there. So then the student residents are going here.
Well,
and then they're redoing some of the building on Queen Street.
This is supposed to be a multi-purpose
they're going to
apartment building, but the student housing is going to be at the old King Eddie.
Yeah, but this is going to be apartments too, right? But this is going to be part of the student housing too. So because
that's not what the planning says.
12 billion students coming here.
Yeah, but that's not what the planning says. The planning says
what the planning says and what they do
are two different things. I know, but right now it says the King Eddie will be for student housing.
Yeah.
And this, but what about, my question to you is, what about the Cataract Ice?
That's part of the whole thing for the university.
Okay, that's going to be where the university
they want to get rid of all that crap, right? And then they got the GO station across the street and everything.
The bus terminal.
And then eventually Dolly's Disco will burn down and then the Empire, the real Empire Hotel.
Yeah, and they're going to put a thing there. They're going to. Well, that's going to be the next.
I remember years ago because I remember the people that used to own the Empire. My dad used to work across the street at CN. He worked for CN, and the one was my godmother that owned it. But yeah, I remember that. They want that whole thing gone. I'm surprised these are still here. Like I don't know if they're bought, but the same company that had the Empire Building. They were doing the big building at the old Michael's Inn site.
Okay.
And that's canceled.
Oh, that's canceled.
And then they're short of some money or something.
Yeah.
I looked it up again, and then I did Google search and come across a few articles where they were like, it just showed that they had a lack of money, but they're still all fancy at their office and stuff. So.
Okay, and you know what? We've given Gary Wilkins 5 minutes more than his 10 minutes.
Oh, he's not going to be happy. What's he going to do with all that extra time?
Sell it.
Yeah.
That's what the city does.
Yeah.
Anyway, we do have to get out of here, John. Yeah. So thank you very much for coming in. It's been a fun time talking about city council and what's going on.
I'm going to be there when they do that because I want to speak about a few things like
the budget.
The budget. Just a couple things when they do the thing, like the average price. The taxes on an average house of $260,000 or $270,000. Right. It's not that. It's like, hey, if your building is going up 50 cents per $1,000 of value. That way, the average Joe can say, "Oh, my house is look, I got my impact thing. It's $500,000, so my taxes are going up $250 a year." Okay, now I know, right? Instead of having, because it's almost like they hide it, right?
Well, that's what they used to do, give you the mill rate. They used to tell you the mill rate.
But they still use the average house. And even from, they did. They said the average value, but then the mill rate was there, right? And that was back in the 70s when they did the mill rate.
Yeah, right? Well, that was good.
But then they got into let's hide this better, right? And then they used to say, assessment value of the houses have gone up 5%. So we got an extra 5% regardless. Well, we're not going to count that because that was another level of government that taxed you.
Yes.
Our increase is 5% plus the 5% we got from the province.
Right.
Really, and then it's 10%, right? And then it's like, okay, your taxes are going to go up 50 cents a thousand. Simple. Like I said, black and white. Make it simple.
That's why I love the mill rate. Your house is worth, back in the day, your house was worth $80,000.
They're all coming out right now. They're all the impact. I don't know if anybody's got their stuff, but eventually they're still going up. And if you look at it, says the people that are buying the new houses, the brand new ones, they're subsidizing you, me, and other people that are at the lower rate that haven't been upgraded to the top. So eventually, And the city's not going to say, "Oh, we're giving you that money back."
No,
right?
no,
We're
no,
going
no,
to take the extra because that's the government that did that.
They're going to blame it on the province,
Yeah.
and you're going to get a higher tax bill.
Yeah, and then you know what? Then their budget be going, "Oh, we got an extra $40 million this year.
Yeah,
Hey,
what-
$200 million. We're going to build the exchange tour or a big giant statue at the circle there, right on the 4 posts, the big statue of somebody.
Somebody, Wayne Diodati.
Yeah,
It'll
well,
be
we already
Buffalo.
we got Wayne Thompson building, we got Wayne Campbell building.
Building.
Okay, so who else is there? They should do one for Bill Smeaton.
Yeah,
That's
Bill-
my cousin.
Yeah, Bill Smeaton building.
I miss him. He had like awesome verbiage.
He was good.
He was good. He was
good.
a nice person. He's still a nice person, right?
Yeah,
But
good guy.
Yeah.
And on that note, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
My name is Paul Kalemir. This is Your City, Your Voice. I hope you tuned in, had a good time with John and I. John Ringo Beam in the studio today. Always fun to have John in. See you Monday with Manic Monday, and Dave Wheeler will be in. We're going to be doing the City Council agenda review and talking more about the planning and things that we talked about here today. We're going to continue on with the budget kick for the whole week as I go through it and see more stuff. And tune in. Have a great weekend.
The ward system. Get online. Vote on the ward system.
Vote on the ward
131
system.
votes. Come on.
We got to have more people
That kid
voting on
needs
that
a new
ward
paw.
system. That kid. Anyway, I'm out of here. Have a good day, everybody. We will see you Monday with Dave Wheeler in the studio. Have a great weekend. God bless you all. Support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Shop. They appreciate it. I appreciate. Subscribe. Hit the notification. Give us a like. Give us a thumbs down. Make a comment. Leave a comment. And tell us what you think of the show, and we'll talk about that too later.
And buy more ice.
Buy more ice. We'll see you later, you guys. Take care.